Greetings from the eerie coast. This is Mad Shad. O Taka Oktora. Anyway, this is what I have here. I have a wellness camp full of Twinkies. Got to get those Twinkies, right? So, what we have here, what I've drawn up here, is your basic, simple Twinkie Camp. And it's basically set up. They're all basically going to be this type of setup. What we have here is the compound itself with the enclosure. This is where the red shows where the Twinkies are. Okay, all the Twinkies. And the yellow is the holding area for our brothers and sisters. So the Twinkies are basically holding our brothers and sisters hostage. So this is what all these wellness camps, these Twinkie wellness camps, are going to have here. And so there's always this main building where they hold, where the Twinkies live, so they don't spoil. And they also have, usually they'll have a front gate, which everything comes in and out of. There might be a secondary gate, but there's always outpost overlooking, especially on the corners and on the sides, just to give that all around 360 degree security and surveillance. There may or may not, which there usually is, a road going around with two roving Twinkies in vehicles that patrol that fenced in area. Okay? Now, because we know there's usually a helipad for the Twinkies to have a helo, which will be just literally patrolling the whole area. There's always a no man's land, huge area. It may or may not be mined or have surveillance sensors everywhere. There usually is a roving patrol on foot that goes around. Usually. There may or may not, because of lack of Twinkie personnel. So, and if there is, right past that no man's land, there could be a tree line, which I'm guessing there is. There could be, or there could be nothing. The perfect place to be would be nothing. So, but there's always LPOPs, listening and observing and listening posts, usually 2-man groups or 1-man group. Usually it's 2-man groups, and they have comms with everything. Everything is calmed out. The Twinkies are all about the comms, right? They gotta talk to each other. So you got your LPOP. You always have a road. There's always a service road, going into the joint. And this is where our brothers and sisters are being kept for their wellness and for their safety. So safety cones. This is what you're facing, and it's your basic, simple prison setup. But it's not a prison now, is it? No, it's to keep everybody safe, right? Yeah, it's all for your safety. For their safety and yours, right? Yes. So, but the Twinkies, I put a B here for barracks, or bad Twinkies. So you're going to have all of this, and you're always going to have some kind of air. Usually. There may or may not be drones. There's a strong possibility. Drones, as we know, can go anywhere and everywhere and basically take the job of all these roving Twinkies as far as like surveillance And we also know that they are weaponized as well. So that's something as well that we have to face. As yeah. Anyway, there's usually a chow hall, usually a medical building, usually a administrative building, but basically I just kept it very simple. It may or may not be certain, buildings like this. It might be one big building. Depends on what they do. If it's a Walmart type kind of place, it'll be a little different. All this will be in one building, and maybe some adjacent tent setups. But definitely expect this to be a lot of Twinkies on duty. Okay, a lot of Twinkies, and there may or may not be offsite a QRF, a quick response force, just in case somebody wants to come visit the wellness center. Because there's always a guest that comes a curious onlooker with friends. So this would be a daunting task to come and get those Twinkies and get them away from our brothers and sisters that are being re-educated or kept safe. So that's the idea. So if you wanted to, there's ways you can go about this. Probably 2 or 3 ways, but it's not going to go as smooth as you think. So as far as like a lightning strike coming through, you have to deal with these guys, these Twinkies over here, these red Twinkies, and of course this red Twinkie, which may or may not be equipped with Twinkie throwers, and of course these could be technical with some kind of Twinkie Dushka launcher, and of course the outpost obviously could possibly have some, all of this area will be covered by sight, line of sight, and reach, which could reach anything. And of course you have your LPOPs, which can also move about as well. So any kind of movement in these areas. The thing to do is to really, really, really figure out what's there. So you have to be able to do your recon in such a way that nobody knows that you're there, and to limit your time on site. So if you were to come here and just kind of hang out right here and watch what's going on. If you are able to glean where the locations are of the LPOPs, then you can mark that, make a map, gather that intel of where the Twinkies are, and possibly get a count, do a salute report. A salute report is very simple. S, size. A, activity. L, location. U, unit. T, the time. And E, the equipment. All right? That's a very useful synonym that we used in Twinkie eradication. So this works across the board for just about anything. Basic, simple stuff. That's your first and foremost thing, is to gather intel and not be exposed as well. Now, the thing about these Twinkies, especially this guy, they can see everything. They can see in the dark. they can see heat signatures for at least a mile or two. Yeah, yeah. So how do you get past that? If they own the night, how do you get past that? Go during the day. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, it's still the thermals still work during the daytime, but it's not as effective. It's more effective at night when you're under the cover of darkness. That guy right there is the one you got to look out for. That's the one that's going to see you first. And depending on where he is, where his location is, he's always going to come back here, whatever. And they might have their QRF, just might be more of these, because they are very effective. There is also fixed wing, which may or may not be available to the Twinkies. So you have to take that in consideration as well. So an overall gathering of intel from all the areas is vital and necessary to figure out where everybody is. So I'm just going to sit here. This is better than squatting. But knowing where these little guys are, yeah, that little guy there, yeah, right here, where are you at? Right there, yeah. Sorry, it's not showing through, but you get my point. These rovers, they're always on the. They're ready to respond. Their main goal actually is to prevent our brothers, our safety cones, from leaving the wellness camp, because you can't leave the reservation, can you? That would produce a very dangerous effect. And the Twinkies are in charge of keeping the safety cones safe. So yeah, it's the liberators who the curious onlookers who wish to save the safety cones from the Twinkies, because this could be more than just a wellness camp. There could be a little place right here, got a smokestack, or there could be a shower, could be a big hole right here where the safety cones are dumped into. Could be some bulldozers. Those are things to mark as well. We know they need food, they need water, they need shelter, and they need ammunition and bodies. Okay, beans, bullets, and band-aids, and bodies. Because you need a lot of bodies to make this work. This guy, these guys, and these guys. Basically, once again, I've done just basically a platoon of a platoon, basically a platoon of Twinkies, which consists of about 13. But you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Basically, you got some 3 squads, and of course there's going to be more in here. Obviously, more Twinkies in there, and they're going to be in charge of taking care of all the safety cones, because that is their main goal, and to prevent the safety cones from wandering out into the wilderness and making everything unsafe, because they're safe right where they're at, right? So these are things that this is your basic simple construction setup of a wellness camp. Camp wellness. Yeah, got a nice ring to it, right? So camp health. These are actually popping up in Australia. Yeah. Look it up. They're very proud of this shit. Here, there's always been that idea, and they've always talked about it. And people have ever actually said, oh, that's a spot right there. UK, the same thing. They have these little wellness camps as well. These Hotel Californias, if you will. You can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave. And we have to thank Mr. Adolf, back in the 1930s. He was very, very successful in setting these things up all across the Europe sector, and processing these safety cones with his Twinkies. And it was quite amazing that they actually went along with the plan. Just following orders, huh? Yeah. So, this is what we're facing. So, your thoughts and comments on the objective. The objective is to save the safety cones from the Twinkies. Get those Twinkies. It's a very daunting task, but it can be done. It has been done, and it can be done. Once you've gathered the intel, there's a couple ways that you can go about this. You can come and visit with a massive force. Obviously, this guy is a problem. All right. So coming with a massive force and being able to deal with the air, because that's the high ground, and that's what they're going to bring. The air, the heavy Twinkie launchers. Which could be of any caliber and in any kind of expanding nature that they might have upon impact. And of course, they're going to have long-range smaller Twinkie launchers that can hit you at pinpoint accuracy. So you could come with a massive force and just go right through the front door, boom, and lay waste to all the Twinkies. And hopefully you'll liberate the safety cones, unless they of course start catching friendly fire, or the Twinkies start cutting off the safety cones and taking them down, which could be a contingency. So, and like I said before, there might still be a off-site QRF, quick response Twinkie force, that will come and assist with anything that's happening. And it could be fixed wing, and it could be more of these guys, more of these helos. And that's a bad day. There's no hiding that. You can't hide from that. It's even if you have armor, they can take care of that. So as far as a massive force, it's going to be a massive battle, and you're going to have to be able to deal with these guys, the technicals, the heavy Twinkie launchers, and possibly a off-site QRF, and of course inside the fortified, fairly fortified. It's mostly to keep the safety cones in, and not to this right here, this no man's land, is basically to prevent anyone from. But this thing is basically set up to keep people in, not people out. So getting in would be no problem. Actually, you go straight in. You blow a hole through the fence or the wall, or you scale the wall, or you go under the wall. Any kind of siege, but massive, just go right through the front. Sure, whatever. Surround the area, and demand that they turn over, that the Twinkies turn over the safety cones, or one by one, just rub one out. Little guy over here, boom, takes out another one. He goes over here. Boom, takes out another one. By that time, these guys are going to come a-calling. These guys are going to come a-calling. These guys, everybody's going to come to that one area where they believe that the Twinkies are disappearing. So that's when you either A, leave, which is a pretty good idea, exfil, get out of the area, leave, and then come back. Do the same thing. Boom. Oh, what happened? Nope. You're losing people. You're losing people. You're losing people. What's going on here? You're losing, you know. Twinkies are falling by the wayside. Uh-oh. You know, these guys reset. They're always going to reset, you know, because they have to reset. That's the way it works. You know, they have to provide security. They might, after that initial Twinkie removal that you do, they might up their patrols and set up blocking positions around the area, around the Twinkie areas. And that's a possibility. Same thing. Boop. Take out a Twinkie. Boop. Take out a Twinkie. No, I'm going to go over here. Oh, get that Twinkie. Yeah. Oh, everybody's conforming. Oh, here comes this guy again. Oh, take out one more and go. Leave. So what's going to happen is now they're going to either up their patrol even more. They're going to start putting more. They're going to be more LPOPs and more LPOPs, and next thing you know, there's going to be so many people in here, you know, that it's just going to be crazy. It's going to be nuts. Everybody, you know, constantly on patrol, snooping and pooping. And you can do that. And that's one of many responses that the Twinkies could have, or and this is very telling. If these guys do not refresh, or if the Twinkies do not replenish, then you know you can win. Because what's happening, if they're not replenishing the Twinkies force, then you can perform a war of attrition. And basically, one by one, you can take a Twinkie. I would start with the LPOPs. Definitely. Take out one. Boom. See ya. Goodbye. Oh, this guy? You? Okay. See ya. Oh, this little hider. Now, they could employ their own super sniper Twinkie. And he could literally just be hanging out. You know, just waiting. Could be one right here. That's his job. Sit there for 20 hours, looking through a thermal scope. They could start using their drones. They could, be more of these guys. Be more of these Twinkie helos. The rovers might punch out and start doing more of a broad spectrum surrounding area kind of patrol, or they could punch out, leaving this area open and using their patrols to patrol the wooded areas, the outside perimeters. You know, they have this perimeter, this perimeter, this perimeter, this perimeter, and this perimeter, and they'll just push out more perimeters and just have more levels of security to get to the safety cones. So that's what you got going on here. And if they do not replenish, one at a time. Or you could do this. Oh, there's two at a time? What? That means there's two people getting Twinkies. Now, if you are going after this Carlos Halfcock kind of guy, that's going to be interesting. Now, mind you, not having your own Twinkie launchers or Twinkie mortars or Twinkie rockets or Twinkie air, If you're just doing this on foot with some small Twinkie launchers, small caliber Twinkies, it's going to be hard, but that's how you can do it. And you can also use improvised Twinkie expanders that go boom, 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 boom. You could do that and basically take out a lot of these hardened Twinkie vehicles. That is their ultimate line of defense. Bodies on the ground, Twinkies, roving Twinkies on the ground, boots on the ground, Twinkies on the ground. That's what you're going to be facing most of. But that war of attrition is telling. They might send out for more if you're able to which is going to be hard because their comms are encrypted, usually through a frequency hopping thing where they have a bunch of frequencies and they literally jumble up the whole freaking conversation that they're having, the transmission, through like 5 or 6 different, or 6 or 700 frequencies. So if you're listening to one frequency, all you hear is bah, and then another frequency, skirt, skirt. And if you know the sequence of frequencies that they're using with the free hopping, which you won't, it'll be very, very hard to do that. Then you can know what's going on, but you can still find out, are they going to order more Twinkies to the area, which in many cases they're going to be using the road, or they're going to use a helo. It will be telling which one they use. If they use a road, see my one of my videos about the L shape to get those Twinkies. So having that intel, having boots on the ground, eyes on the Twinkie, that is the best way that you're going to be able to get those Twinkies. You dig? And get these guys the safety cones to safety. So, your thoughts? Maybe you've got some better ideas. There's always room for ideas. And make no mistake about it. This is all for fun and games. And this is all fun and games, right? Fun and games. But it's a game, right? It's a game. But it's a game for keeps. So, it's all about those Twinkies, right? Being safe. So, this is Mad Chad, encouraging you all to continue to train, continue to prep, be safe, don't go here, don't come to Camp Wellness, all right? Don't get on the bus, don't get on the train, don't get in the car. Unless, of course, you're coming to visit your safety cones and maybe to get some Twinkies. So just understand that this is a reality. This is a reality, and this is a basic, simple structure and setup that is used mainly across the world. I mean, it might vary in certain instances, obviously, but whatever. Playing Hogan's Heroes. That's an idea too. But this has been Mad Chad, encouraging you all to continue to train, continue to prep, because we all know it's a mad, mad world out there.